And you know what? Like Luke had a cup of tea. Like that's all. Like Luke's had a cup of tea this whole time. I don't know how he does it, but I couldn't. Okay, let's see. I'm just waiting for Luke. Yes, sorry.
Do you know that there is bull urine in Red Bull? Are you content?
What? No, there's not. No.
You look it up.
We need to verify.
I believe you. I believe you. Oh my God.
I was drinking.
God, no.
I was drinking Green Frogs in Muscat, Oman, and it had Red Bull in it. And I looked it up. Now I don't know if they've changed the ingredients since then because there was a lot of big hooey about it, right? But
no, but like that'd be great to know. That'd be great to know. I need to check into that.
Jonathan is drinking urine pee. No,
right, and not just like I've probably had a gallon of like bull pee at this point.
Bacon's awesome.
Well, and you know what? I feel like a lot of people would really enjoy that.
I think they would too, especially if I troll you and be like, "Luke's wrong."
Yeah, you get much support for sure in that.
Is everyone? Oh, I guess my live's a little delayed. Awesome. So yeah, I don't really have anything specific.
That's good.
I just figured let's jump on and.
You know what? I've been telling people that we would actually give a little bit of value and talk a little bit about LinkedIn because we've been all over the place with our conversations, which is good.
Right.
So maybe we could, dive a little bit into it. I don't know if we want to do that. But.
And Luke, like, dude, like, if you need, like, take a break. I took a good 10 minutes and it, to actually cook something, eat something. You'll feel better.
Get this. My wife made me like some beautiful spring
rolls. Oh, you got the best.
And they've been sitting here for 2 hours and I haven't eaten. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I might, as we're chatting, I might do the old the camera up and have a few bites.
I mean, it's hard, right? It's like but, when you're like super fatigued, like. There's people that get hungry or people that just like they won't eat. And I'm like, you look like you're kind of built like an ectomorph, It's like we have like more like I don't know if you guys like know about like body types and stuff like that. Like endomorphs are kind of like stockier build, they put on fat a little bit easier. Ectomorphs are like smaller clavicles, they tend to be a little bit more narrow, thin, you know, and it's like like guys like us, like a little bit taller, thinner, it's like we just won't eat. We'll just go all day without eating,
That's definitely what I do, especially if I'm working and I'm in a zone. I just forget to eat. I forget to drink.
Yeah.
I get so obsessively locked in. That's good and bad, right? Because I get stuff done.
Right.
But I also definitely forget, like, oh wow, it's the sun's down. I honestly didn't notice until I just looked out the window here. The sun's been down probably for a couple hours, but I get so focused in what I'm doing that I'm not aware of what's around me. So
what was your whole, what brought all this on? Like,
that's a good question.
A stupid Luke post brought this on.
It did. It was a stupid, irrelevant post.
Why does that not surprise me?
And it really was that simple. I think what did I even do? I should go find, you know what? Let me go find
You need to
the
do
post.
that.
Let's
You know, I don't
actually
know, like,
see
we have
where this
time to tell the whole story.
We've been kind of joking about that, Jason, when there's a question that, you know, you want to avoid a question. So you go, well, I don't have the time to get into that. And we've been joking, well, I don't have the, oh, wait, well.
Oh, well, we only have 9.5 hours to go. So that's the good news.
Yeah, definitely not enough time to talk about that. No way.
Not at all.
No.
You know,
okay,
I
so
will
while
find that
you're
post.
looking
So
that
let
up,
me find
yeah,
it.
while you're looking at that up, what are y'all's top 3 tips for growing on LinkedIn? My answer is not going to be as friendly as it was at midnight. So, okay,
I like
so
that.
what are y'all's top 3 tips for growing on LinkedIn? Engage with smaller creators. Go find the people that do not have a lot of likes and comments. Why? Number 1, they're going to appreciate you more, right? Because like they don't have a lot of engagement, but the fact that you took the time to engage in their content, it'll give them like a little bit of appreciation for you, especially if you're a bigger content creator. Number 2, they probably also don't have a ton of followers, right? And if they don't have a lot of followers, the probability that your content is going to show up in JP's answer is pods. Correct, Leah. That was number 3. Can you stop rushing me? You want to number 2, you want to do that, because then if they don't have a ton of followers on the feed, your post will show up more frequently, right? And you're always going to be at the top. So, you know, that's why you want to really reach out to those little creators, kind of create an army of smaller creators that will constantly support your content. On the other side, you want to leave the best comment on a big creator's page, right? Like a really well thought out comment, because, you know, if that person gets 20,000 views on their video and you leave the best comment, guess what? 20,000 people are going to, you know, more than likely going to see your comment, right? So it's a great way of building awareness to your content. And like, you know, I always say it's like comments are content. We get into this mindset that it's just like, it has to be about what we post. Not necessarily. Like, take advantage of these big creators that have big followings and leave the most thoughtful comment there. You know, that can be worth so much more than whatever you're going to post on a given day if your following is much smaller. So, and then number 3, yes, pods. Like, pods are a thing. I'm going to come clean with it because it's, you know, it's a conversation stimulator. My belief is that, you know, if you have shitty content, pods just expose you more, right? I use pods. I have no shame in using pods because like that first hour is so important to your content. And if I can do something to elevate my content in the first hour of posting, I'm going to do it. We can't run ads on our content. If I was very intentional with what I created and I put a lot of time into it, it's not that I deserve it. I don't want to say that because none of us do. But if I can have like my friends and family and people that support me and love my content go to my post and elevate it on my behalf, that authentically like it anyways, I don't see the harm. You know, like I'm not sharing my post with hundreds of people. I'm sharing it with a core group of people that have influence that can help push my message further. So, you know, yeah, like pods are a very controversial thing. If I could run ads on my LinkedIn posts, I would, right? Yeah. And like we all would, but we can't. So like the pods is just, it's a means to an end, but it's because I really feel like, you know, my content deserves it. So I have no shame in doing it. So.
See, I'm on the flip side. I actually was in 2 pods for a while. And what tended to happen, and maybe I was just in some bad pods, it was crap engagement in way of like, I would get the comments of like, great post, Jason, or, oh, we love what you do. And, oh, you're a great friend. And it's like, that's not the engagement I'm looking for. And really what I found was when I stopped in the pods was when I started getting better engagement that actually was driving my business. Like that, the people that were engaging with my content were the ones that then were DMing me and like asking for services and help and stuff. So I like, for some people it works, you know, but I know for me, it just.
What's up, Matthew? Good to see you, buddy.
Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
So this is my second LinkedIn Live ever. And so the talking and looking at the, like, I keep forgetting to look at all the comments and be like, oh, people are actually talking back to me.
Katie, if somebody is asking you to pay for a pod, you tell them that I'm going to slap them in the face.
Oh,
no. Like, you need to, Katie, you need to come clean and tell me who is doing that, because that is like, that's messed up, man. Like, no, you should never pay to be in a pod. Never. Never. That's crazy. Who's doing that? Let's call him out.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it myself. I've never seen that.
I've seen some people that like include it in some kind of package, like, hey, we're going to do some training with you and you get access to our pod. And it's, $500 a month or whatever. And I'm like, you know what?
$500 a month? Oh, dude. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, if I really wanted to pay for it, like, I have enough people I'm connected with, I'll just start my own for free. You know?
Right. Like, who are these people? Front hand or backhand? Ooh.
Oh, man. Whoa. I laughed.
Backhand.
Sorry.
Or with a glove.
So I guess I better jump in with my opinion on pods then, since that's what we're doing. I did find the post.
Do you do anything with your content though? Because your stuff is all like.
It's a good question.
You are. So I'm going to interrupt you here because I've wanted to say this forever. You are the antithesis. That's the word I'm looking for. You are the antithesis of everything I say on LinkedIn. It's like, come up with a strategy, provide value, and you're over here
sorry, I got to chime in for anybody that's listening. Oleg is fucking cancer.
Oh my god!
From everything that I hear, so yeah, stay away from that one. I have a good friend that got caught up in a bunch of like some follower system where now like they're getting a bunch of bots and they have no control over their own account. They're getting a bunch of bot followers because they did some kind of witchcraft with Oleg. So be careful.
That's rough. Yeah. Sorry, what were you? Go ahead.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's like everything I say, Luke does the opposite and blows me out of the water. And I'm like, this is why you are a part-time wizard. Because only you could like break all the laws of content marketing and still have an awesome following. Like, if I posted, honestly, if I posted about bacon, you know, you get 200 likes and comments and people are like, oh, we love Luke. He's awesome. If I posted about bacon, people would be like, Jason, you okay? Like, what's going on? I get like 5 likes and people be like, start unfollowing me and stuff. And yeah, like that's so, yeah.
See,
Luke.
that's funny. Because I actually send people your way. I've told you this. People come to my posts and they're asking, like, oh, what should I do for my business? You know, I'm trying to figure stuff out. I send them your way because you actually do have great value in almost every single post, other than the odd, you know, sassy Jason one that's just fun. But I mean, you always provide value. I think like I have gotten work from posts about bacon. I've gotten work from talking about turtles from wizards, and I think what it is I don't really know what it is, honestly. I just think people get tired of the same old stuff, right? There's lots of people talking about branding and marketing, and not to say you're not good, because you are good. So is Jonathan. But I think it's just the change of pace where not a lot of people do that on LinkedIn. And I think I still manage to try and start a conversation, I think, with it. Like, I can be super random, but I try to bring it into a discussion because I just want to talk with people, honestly. I feel like my strength is if I can talk to you, I feel like I can win you over. And to me, that's all I want to do. And I think that's my strength, not say coming out with a 5-point plan or talking about Facebook ads or Google ads or all this stuff that would actually help you a lot more. But you're going to tune me out because I'm not as good at communicating that as I am at just winning you over with stupidity. That's my answer.
I tend to agree. Like, and also like if Luke had a formula, I'm not saying that this is what he does, but I think that there's a reason why it works so well. And I also want to address my buddy Matthew. Me and Matthew go way back. I love that guy. He's a really good soul. He asked, how do you define value? So when it comes to defining value, something that we said earlier in the call, but it would benefit some of these people to hear it, is, you know, ask yourself when you're going to put up a post, can I Google it? Can somebody
Mhm.
Google what I am providing? Did they find this in an article? Are they remixing a piece of content somebody else wrote? You know, and oftentimes I find that that is not value in the way that, you know, some of us, like myself and Luke and a couple of others, view it. You know, like, if you can Google something, then it's not that valuable after all, right? Typically, it's stuff that we've heard, you know, around the grapevine. But you know what we haven't heard? Your perspective. And you know what? You actually find when you speak from the heart, you may feel like, okay, well, why would anybody have to hear what I say? Why is this going to be important to anyone? But what you really need to consider is you have played your memories over and over again. You've lived out these experiences time and time again. So to you, you think to yourself, oh, well, this is just another day of my life. But to somebody on the outside that's looking for what you do or your services, it may be the first time they're ever hearing about this stuff. So instead of, as you're writing a post, let's say that you have a topic or subject, instead of writing based off of the facts in an article and then trying to regurgitate, which doesn't feel natural, try to consider what inspired you to cover this topic. And you find 9 times out of 10, it is way more interesting than whatever article you were going to pull from or whatever remix content you were trying to like force into existence. Take those personal experiences, because that is the kind of stuff that separates you from everybody else, that your own perspective, because nobody can copy that. Nobody can Google it. So, you know, and you find that it's just like anything else. The backstage stuff, the backstage view is way more interesting than the stuff we try to push and present in front of people. So that's how I define value. It's your unique experiences that make you special. So
I like that.
I was gonna say, I would add on that too. Like, it has to be something that people want too. Like, because I honestly, I could jump on LinkedIn and I could talk about my dog all day. You know, I could post pictures, I could talk about anything under the sun, but that doesn't necessarily mean people want it either. And so there is this mix of your experience, like your expertise, but then also like what people actually want and what they're looking for. And so I actually had a conversation with a client last week where they asked that question, like, well, what if you can find this information on Google? I'm like, that's fine. Don't do what you find on Google. Share your specific experience with it. Like, because I can Google content strategies and get millions of results on LinkedIn or on Google. That doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about content strategies, because I have a system. This is what I've done. This is what I've learned. And no one else on Google has experienced that, you know? So even if some of the advice is similar, it's still coming through my lens, my experience, what I've done. And that's what's valuable. And really, I would say too, it's the relationship. Because there are like the people that I've helped, you could find all this information on Google. You can learn how to market your business on Google, but what you don't have is that person's text. You know, you don't have their phone number to text them. You don't have their email address. You don't see everything that they're posting on LinkedIn and where they're struggling and where they're saying, you know, I've been in content marketing for 20 years. LinkedIn changes its algorithm and I want to flip and throw my computer out the window because my engagement goes from 200 down to 50 a post, you know, like you're not going to find that on Google, but you're going to find that in relationship when people are like, yeah, I've done content marketing 20 years and this frustrates the crap out of me. You know, like that's where the value comes in.
I like that, Jason. I think it's that key point of relationship, right? It's like information's everywhere, but you know, I think people can learn something. It depends who it is, right? I think that's the thing about the feed. You scroll through and a lot of people are saying the same thing, but maybe the way that Jonathan says it lands with you, right? Or maybe the stupid way that I talk about bacon for some reason hits home, and then you actually follow my content, and then you know you do find a post that you know maybe challenges you personally, or that there is the odd social media thing, or you hop on a call with me or whatever, and that helps you. It's just, I guess, certain content will like attract certain people. You know,
I have to like reveal a secret. When I'm making my content, I view it as I'm creating my content for 5-year-olds. Like Jason, I don't know if you've watched my videos before, but there is so much going on in such a short period of time. I'm doing it for like a 5-year-old. I really think in my mind, like as I'm writing, I'm like, okay, how could I keep a 5-year-old engaged in what I'm talking about? How can I make sure that a 5-year-old could understand the topics I'm covering? So I'll use a lot of like symbolism. I'll use a lot of metaphors, similes, things like that. And I feel like that helps the content become more digestible, because it's like, a lot of times we overcomplicate the content because we want to sound smart. Like, how many times have you read a mission statement or a vision statement on a website and you're like, or like a contract, and you're like, dude, they purposely make this shit really fucking complicated so they can sound smart. When the reality is we don't want any of that. We want the most simplified information because that's what's going to keep us engaged. And we want to feel smart, right? We want to feel smart. We want to feel like we can actually understand what they're talking about. So because then we can't apply it if it's too complicated. So I feel like, if you really do make your content for 5-year-olds, you're going to have more of an impact and more of an effect than if you try to sound really smart, through your messaging.
Yeah. And that's the advice I give to people when they ask me about content is, if you look at my content, I don't use marketing lingo. Or if I do, like if I'm going to say something like your target audience or a buyer persona or that kind of stuff, I explain what that means, because it's so easy. I've been in marketing for like 20 years now. It is so easy for me just to default to, what is an MQL? What is SQL? Like, and no one, when I've used that language, no one outside the industry understands what it means. Right. And they're afraid to ask because it makes them look dumb. And it's easier just to be like, I know what that means. And it is to admit, like, I don't know.
Most importantly, why would they care? Yeah. Why would they care? They don't care. They want the results. They don't care about how you get there. They want to maybe understand some of the steps so that maybe they can apply some of it before they try you. But the reality is they don't care. They don't care like how you get there. I don't want to know. I don't want to sit down with an accountant and go through my finances and figure out like the code he uses in Excel. I don't care. Just tell me what I have to pay. Tell me what I'm getting back and like leave the rest. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that. That was well put.
Mic drop. Unintentional mic drop.
Yeah.
No, it was intentional. I'll just, give the queen pat here.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah. And hopefully he's not watching. I had a client send me an ebook that I was going to work on for him, and I read through it, and I was like, it's for IT, and I was like, I don't even understand this.
Right.
And I'm your target market because you're looking for business owners that would need this. And I'm like, we're going to have to, let's jump on a call and redo this. Because if I don't understand this, if this sounds like you're trying to make yourself look smart, so I'm dumb, which I know that wasn't his intention, but that's just how it comes out. I'm like, no one's going to download this, dude. Like, even the title, I'm like, there's nothing about this that I would say, oh yeah, here's my email, I'm gonna download this, like, no. So the simpler you make it, the better.
Yeah.
Like, and even something like with an ebook, like I find like sometimes like even saying, give me your email and I'll send you an ebook, like that can be poison. I find that calling it like social media cheat sheets, like social media hacks, and just making it like a list of like the stuff you just absolutely need to know tends to be way more effective than ebook. Like, like I guess it's like, it's constantly innovating and constantly trying to stay on top of trends, right? Because like, it's like when you take too much medication, it's like people kind of get like dependent on it, and they know what to look out for, right? Like, so once they build up that tolerance, they're like, okay, now I know what they're trying to do with me. You need to find different words to use to sell the same thing. So, cheat sheet, like I love that one. That one's been working really well for us. So little stuff like that, you just have to adjust, change the wording. It's the same stuff.
We just did I don't know if you guys know Ned Eric. Him and I put together we did two things, a prospecting guide that we gave away for free because we had, so he's sales side. He He's helps do
Morally,
like
change
sales.
it to a
Yeah,
cheat sheet.
yeah.
I'm looking at the comments. Sorry.
He did sales. He does outbound sales for like 4 different startups and help them, grow from $1 million company. So who knows what he's talking about? And we both had people come to us separately and be like, how do I message on LinkedIn and have people like actually want to respond and read it? And so we came up with this like quick guide. We called it a guide because I hate the word ebook. Like I would never use it in my own stuff. And it literally is like a workbook. Here's a template. Here's space. You can print it out. You can write your own message on there, workshop it, blah, blah. Like basically you could hire us to do it for you, or here's a book, you could do it yourself.
Right.
I put it up on LinkedIn, just did a post and said, hey, if you want a copy for free, comment steal. When I've done that before, I've had like 50 people. We had that first day, 220 people requested.
Wow.
I spent like the entire day on LinkedIn copying and pasting hey, thanks for downloading it. Or requesting it. Here's the link. Back and forth. Like that was my entire day. I was like, Ned, we're onto something. I've never done a guide where like within 24 hours, 200 people downloaded it. And it's been 2 months now. I still get people finding that post, DMing me like, hey, can I get a copy of that free guide? And I'm like, what? This was like I needed to fill space on a Wednesday on LinkedIn. This was not I didn't strategize this out. So we talked and we're like, let's make a paid version.
I love that.
Where we do more templates, we give you more of a structure to it, and we have made thousands of dollars from that paid guide. So there is something to guides. There is something to what used to be ebooks, like giving away something that helps people do it themselves. Not just here's a case study that I'm putting in as an ebook and saying, hey, buy my services, but really teaching people, here's how you do what you could pay me to do for you.
Hey, Jason, is it okay if we bring in Nat Berman?
Yeah.
Is he in the waiting room or not yet?
Oh, I love Nat Berman. Nat, Jason, and Jonathan all in the same chat. That's like, those are some of my favorite creators on this platform.
Right? Like it's a little dream come true.
It is for me. Yeah, you guys are all awesome.
Okay, he is not in. Again, this is my second time. So
you know what?
You
take your time. You take your time.
Is he in the group chat for where everyone's posting their links? I sent him the
link. Luke, maybe you can try it. I sent him the link, but he says he can't get in.
Oh, like the link to the live or the link to the
link to like the one within the 24-hour marathon.
Oh, here I'll send Jason's because he needs the StreamYard link, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send right now.
Okay,
I got
cool,
the link.
Yeah, see if that helps.
I got you. Don't you worry.
I'm gonna look at some of the comments.
Yeah.
Len Chow, no one is selling art here. Surprise and delight. People here are grown-ups and some have money. People are here for business and won't expect to be able to buy presents for loved ones here. People will love you. Yeah, like that's a great point, Vanessa. I really like what you have to say there. So what's the advantage of, for me, fine art using LinkedIn in comparison to Facebook and IG with the holiday season coming up and making sales online? My recommendation, Len, is reach out to 5 influencers, send them a very small piece of artwork for free, and just kind of like work out a deal maybe where, like they'll advertise on your behalf, and like basically they could do like an unboxing video or something like that, hang it in their house and just be like, this Len guy provided me with this beautiful piece of artwork, and you guys, if you need some Christmas gifts, you should really reach out to him. And man, like the power of influencers, you will certainly sell some pieces of artwork that way. What do you think, Jason? How do you differ from that?
No, I would say the same thing. Find whether it is influencers or really find also people that you are connected with and you're connected with well and have a good relationship. Because with influencers, you're going to get a broader audience seeing it, but you might also not get the level of depth or connection to say, oh, you have that, so I want it too. where if you find people that know you already and support you already and are willing to do that kind of thing, they're going to sell it a little bit more for you in way of, give you a little bit more space in their audience, whether it's, hey, why don't you jump on a LinkedIn Live and show me stuff? Like, you're probably not going to get Shay Rowbottom, since you work for her, Jonathan, you're not going to get her to maybe necessarily do a whole LinkedIn Live around your artwork, but you might get someone who's connected with you and a friend with you to do that and get their audience as well. And so find some people that would support you that way. And yeah, I think you could do that. And then also doing come up with a Christmas gift guide, in way of, let me add Nat here. In way of, what's up?
There we go. We got the man here.
My favorite could be my favorite storyteller.
Yeah. Wait, what? So even doing come up with a.
This is like a Hall of Fame.
There he is.
I was just
saying.
He
just entered the bottom of the ninth, and the meat is coming up.
No, you're definitely your catch is a good time, Nat. Is it Nat or Nate?
Nat.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, you're catching us. We're already 15 hours in.
All right. A lot of stimulants.
We're headed towards prime time right now.
What's that?
Prime time.
Prime time? All right.
Prime time.
I have to get a Red Bull or something to get on par with you guys.
Oh, don't worry about it. I got one for you. Here, just go ahead and take one.
Oh my God.
That's like the hacker's desk.
It's bad.
We need a Jolt Cola.
That's right.
Oh.
So we need some questions in the comments, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Some marketing questions, because you're gonna get 4 different answers.
It's true. It's a good time for that.
Oh, boy.
Leah, throw one out there, because Leah, this is interesting. I think we're all kind of deep in this process right now. So Nat just created a program. I currently work in a pretty well-established one. Jason, do you currently have a program or no? An online course?
I don't. I'm working on one, but I don't yet.
You're working on one. And Luke, you need one, right?
Yeah.
Eventually. So yeah, you got a big pile of walks of life right now. So Leah, ask a question about programs. See what we can get.
Oh, good. Then I can eat during this question, because I'm not creating a program.
Nat, why don't you talk about yours? What inspired you to finally take that step?
How to make a wizard hat by Luke made.
A collection of stories. And
what was the question? I'm sorry. Did someone?
No, you're good. Yeah, that hat is super distracting. I'm with you. What inspired you to finally say, "I'm going to make a program"?
You got more hair than I do, man. Be proud of it. Well, okay, that was nice. Lull. That was a good lull. What inspired?
Yeah. You finally made the jump.
Yeah, I don't know everyone's
reasoning for being on LinkedIn and all that stuff, but when I kind of started, hey Luke, what's up, buddy? You're doing one of those elevator things. You're like,
he's eating, but he's eating on the floor. So floor gang.
Is that Luke? Where are you right now? Are you in England still, or?
Yeah, I'm in Manchester in the UK.
Is that like a Subway sandwich or something like that? A shitty Subway.
See, the thing is, I'm Canadian, so all the British food is freaking weird for me. I hate it.
Okay,
chips and
chips are like potatoes. Is that what it's?
Yeah, I still don't know, honestly. Chips are fries here.
They're terrible, national food. Fish and chips. I mean, it's awful.
Yeah. Or weird.
They're fucking chicken nuggets.
Yeah, but at least they taste really good. I mean, God, we have ramen. You're gonna die, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
All right, we got a question here from Leo. What did you fuck up when making your first program? How do you pronounce that? Program?
Can I see these things? I can't see them. Is that right?
You got private chat and then you got comments.
Oh, comments. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Okay, so what did you fuck up when making your first program? Then you do differently, or advise me to make sure I don't. Okay, so
Oh, that's
fuck,
from Leah.
should I give this one away? Okay, I'm gonna give this one away. Like, you guys are gonna be appreciative. A mistake that we made with our program that has done incredibly well is if you record an hour-long video, what happens? Certain parts of LinkedIn will innovate and change, and others will kind of stay the same. So, make it more of like a living program where you have like 5 or 10 minute videos as opposed to an hour-long video. So if you need to take something out and replace it with something updated, you don't necessarily lose the entire hour, where there's some variables that won't change, like your profile. So I would recommend, like, make those micro changes, like take out, like a portion of it, put in a fresh portion. And as things change, you will eventually, like within a year or two, have a completely new program. It's like a lizard that changes its skin, like inevitably it'll be a completely different program. It's evolved over time, as opposed to like creating a program and then it's like, it's all dated, or there's portions of it that are relevant and like hashtags are no longer relevant, but now you got to record the whole thing over again, which is just like, it's such a time hog. So that's what I would recommend. Make it like a living program where pieces can just,
That's a good answer, because like that's where I'm at right now with my program. Is I've got a lot of it sketched out, and I've seen people do both. Like, here's the full hour, and here's 3-minute clips. And I was like, I've been debating which one to do, and you just
send me a message.
Question for me.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So, like, I did one on I don't know what you guys all use, but I just whipped something up basically on Teachable. So it's like 30 videos. I drip feed it. It's like I did a drip feed so that I could actually try and actually promote it before it was even finished. I only finished it like a couple of weeks ago, so the people who signed up, they didn't know technically that there was like 8 videos done instead of 30. But it doesn't matter, because I was doing it every day. But what I like what John said, because John or Jonathan?
Yeah, John's fine.
JP?
Yeah, whichever. JP, yeah, Uriah calls me.
So like, I like the idea of a living thing, because one of the things I did, which was actually a mistake, was the price of my program changed, and in my intro to the program, it's like, oh yeah, float me $100, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't pay $100. It's $7 million, so I can't do that. But one of the nice things I like about Teachable is I just replaced it with a new video.
Right.
And to your point, I mean, I tried to create something that I think will be evergreen and will never have to change, because ideally that's what you want. You could just be lazy and hopefully let people keep signing up, and
just
that's wonderful. But it depends. If you have a time sensitive topic, then clearly you might have to change some things around. And not to mention, I think what's nice about the video thing, first of all, I'm just a video guy, but it's cool that we have different mediums here. Like, me and John are definitely medium guys and video guys, and the other two are losers. But so
I will boot you.
I don't know. Me and John are the nice shirt guys. You guys are just sitting in your little. I mean, come on.
Right, and it's like we both have like the red in the background. It's like
and
we go
John
out,
has
blood,
wrestling, John has wrestling experience, so that's major trouble for you guys. But the one thing I like about the videos, honestly, is that like I'm still waiting for feedback, right? So I have people who take the course or whatever, and I want to know what sucks, or at least they think. I mean, I need at least 100 people getting back to me to tell me what they would change. And they could be mean and say what sucks. I mean, I'm fine with that. So it's like, hey, look, this section right here really didn't help me. I mean, I have a section on hate, and like, there is no way I've already said hate a few times on LinkedIn and videos, and I've always got people who are like, I don't know about that word. I don't think you should use it. It's a little too strong. And I'm just like, well, maybe at some point I'll acquiesce and say, all right, well, that might be removed. And the nice, simple thing about at least the program I'm using, I'm not pitching Teachable here. It's just, for me, it was the easiest because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so like, I could just take out that section, day 27 hate, right? And I can make it day 27 love, and just make a whole new video, and you never know the difference.
Right.
So a living thing, I think, is a great great way to put it. And I think the way that education online is moving, or courses, or whatever you want to call them, is into a live thing. I mean, there's no question about it that people want to interact more as much as they can. So the more they have access to you, that's why I like video, because for me, it's a little bit more personal and I'm comfortable on camera. And frankly, it's faster. I won't do anything if it's fast. Like, John, your videos are ridiculously well edited and there's time put into that. But like my videos, like
that morning,
one take, I go outside and I come in and I use like 2 tools to like cut off the beginning and front when I'm like putting my camera on and leaving the area. Yeah. And I have like subtitle as my, so I can do captions, and that's it. It's like a 12-minute process. I won't do it if it's like an hour, because I'm not making any money, and I don't think I'm benefiting enough quite a bit from LinkedIn to the point where the time commitment should be more. And I may never want to put in more time. I don't really know. Even the program itself, I don't have like 30 videos that are like an hour long. I can't do that. Like, my best shit is like, I'm going to give it to you hard in 5 minutes, and hopefully you learn your lesson. And if you don't, either my program sucks and there's nothing I can do and it'll end up being bad and I might have to, think about it again, or, hopefully it works. Like, it's just like if you read a book, right, and it's a really good book, what you really hope to get out of it are a few key points that you never ever get. There's no question about it. Like, most, a book is 150 pages because like it has to be. But when you read like everyone's mecca book, right? 4-Hour Work Week. Everyone talks about 4-Hour Work Week, but like everyone has their own experience with that book. But if you go back and you think about what you learned, you really took away something for yourself, and it's probably one thing. It's like, for me, it was like, okay, well, systems and automation, and I shouldn't be doing all this shit myself, and things need to be faster, right? Like, that's kind of what I took out of that book, which is like,
well, see, I actually used to do video every day in my content, probably for about 9 months. Every post.
Oh, really?
The reason I stopped was the time commitment, because I have a full-time job. I'm running a business on the side, and what happened was, in that time frame of doing all those videos, my business started growing. And so it was, do I do videos for LinkedIn or do I do client projects? And one of them's making me money, one isn't. And so I actually did, I think the last videos where I was consistent was back in September last year, where I did a month-long series on content. Like, how do you do content on LinkedIn? How do you come up with a strategy? Like, basically my 18 years of content marketing experience, I did a full month series on that. And the goal was to take those videos, put them up on Teachable. But the problem was, I kept saying, here on LinkedIn. And like, I was like, man, I got to redo these videos.
Like, that's hard to put to the side. Like, when I was first doing my course, I was like, oh shit, like, I can't say, all my LinkedIn friends. It's like, no, like, you can't, you do have to switch a little bit. So good point there.
So like, I'm going through redoing all those. That's going to be one of the courses I'm doing. But like, to me, it was the time commitment. It takes me a while to do video because I ramble a lot. So like, I will practice what I want to say for like 5 minutes just to get it down. I'll get in front of the camera and like, I'll start talking and say something that I'm like, that's not even a word. What am I doing? So sometimes for me, it takes 20 takes to actually get the right video.
Did you ever use a script? And I'd like to know if John uses a script too.
So I don't. What I do is I practice and figure out this is what I want to, like, the main point I want to make, or here's the 2 points. And what I would do is take a notepad and write like 1, 2, 3, stick it right underneath the camera, because otherwise I will ramble and then I'll be like, what was point 2? I don't remember what point 2 is. And I'm not a video editor guy. Like, I can
neither am I.
I can crop it and make it look like, hey, next screen, I'm like over here. It's like, I don't even know how to line myself up right to make it look like I didn't do that. So it's one take, or I have to redo it. And there was one weekend, I think by the time I got to the end of that content series, there was one weekend where I spent 5 hours recording 5 videos, and the videos were only like 5 minutes long, and I was like, I'm done. I have to take a break. And then what happened was I got out of that system of doing it, out of that process. And now it's like, if I'm going to do video for LinkedIn every single day, my brain goes back to, remember when you spent 5 hours on a Saturday doing videos for LinkedIn? And I'm like,
I remember my first video on LinkedIn. It was like with my phone. I bought one of those apps that like has a scrolling cue card thingy or whatever, and I went like that with my phone and like tried to have it so that I was looking into the camera and I would just read the script. And I was just like, oh, I hated it, and this is not me. This sucks. Try and just like, it took a while before I even like bought a camera and knew how to use it. I don't know anything about any of this stuff, and so like finally that camera back there, that's my camera. I mean, I just like filmed it and just did it. Like, if it's not easy, I won't do it. And like,
so I'm like
the 5 hour thing. Like the other day, I literally so I'm starting to put my thing on Facebook a little bit more, like, and literally going to try and advertise this thing out. And I want to sort of tackle all of the Tai Lopez's of the world, and the folks who are very, very pushy on Facebook, and I'm not sure if their products really deliver. And I don't care if I just called out Tai Lopez because I know you guys work with him. I'm sorry, John. But
how did you know? That's wild. That's next level. Wow, look at you, Nat. You got the inside knowledge.
That's the man.
Inside knowledge. It's Shay putting a video up that says I'm working with Tai Lopez.
Oh, fuck that! Did she do that today? God damn.
No,
it.
like I don't know, over a week ago.
Oh, okay.
No. P.S. I have zero against someone like Tai Lopez's advertising ability. Okay.
Right.
Clearly, it's exemplary. I mean, it's very, 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 very smart. What I mean by that is, I have no problem going out and making fun of that.
And I'm sure you should be able to.
The first person to be like, I don't give a shit if you make fun of it if it makes you money. So that's what I mean by that, because that's probably one of the biggest names that's out there as far as video and just the amount that you're seeing on video on Facebook. But to Jason's point with the 5 hours, I have someone doing media buying for me on Facebook, and I just like whipped out 20 ridiculous, like, hey, this is me, like all these dumb,
oh my god
videos. But I did 20 of them in like, I don't know, 40 minutes. And what took me forever was like uploading the stuff, but the actual content was like 40 minutes. I was like
cutting the edges, cutting the crust.
Yeah, that's all we're doing, cut the edges, and that's it. But very, very funny stuff. But go ahead, Luke.
I have something completely irrelevant to what you've been saying, even though I've been enjoying it. I just want to announce that we now have a blocked comment or chat for this live 24-hour stream. We now have 5 people that have been following us all day that have commented so much they've been banned by LinkedIn. So I created a DM group for them, so they're all hanging out, still watching, still chatting. So
Block squad.
If you get blocked, send me a DM and I'll add you to the blocked squad.
Oh my god!
Get blocked just for commenting enough? Like too much?
Yeah, like they
can hit 100 comments in 24 hours or something like that.
Oh, I think it's more than that, honestly.
Is it? It should be.
Elsie's probably done like 300 or something.
Right? Yeah. And to speak to that, like to give you perspective, Jason, I spend on average 8 to 12 hours per video.
I knew it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I see guys like you, and I've watched some of your videos since we've only been connected 2 weeks.
Right.
And like I look at that and I'm like, that is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I will never do that. Like, my videos will
but it
always
comes from insecurity. It comes from insecurity. Like, I'm not the guy that'll go up to a chick and introduce myself. I don't like having to do outbound. Like, I want the leads to come to me. So I will spend more time creating the best content possible to avoid like the awkward cold calls or anything like that. Like, I just prefer to bring it that way. Like, they see the content. If they love it, if it resonates with them, then like, okay, great. Now that sales call is going to be a little bit easier.
That's a really good point. Cause like you're I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's true for me too. I hate outbound. I do not do sales calls. Like I have a guy on my team. if people ask me for like outbound help, I have a guy on my team that I'm like, you're meeting with him because if you take my advice, you're going to do all inbound because I do not do outbound. Like, but for me, because this is all part-time, like even my content creation is part-time because it's the full-time job. I'm doing brands and marketing strategies for, growing companies. And then I got this much. Like it takes me 40 minutes to pump out 5 text posts and my weekly email newsletter a week.
Wow. That's
10 to 12 hours for one post one video. There's no way.
What's interesting what's interesting about every method here, so John's method is the exact same method as mine, only he uses his medium that he wants to use to accomplish the exact same goal, right? So John is all about inbound. Jason, I don't know if that's more your thing, but like I think we're all interested in inbound because fuck that outbound. I can't stand it. So we've all been there and it stinks. And so like you have to find whatever it is that works for you. So right. John's sort of insecurity, right, of like not wanting to have to go out and talk to the girl. He's like, well, if I can create a video and it kicks ass, I'm going to put everything I got into that video. My way is almost the complete opposite, where I'm just like, dude, if I could spend 6 minutes a day, I'll do that a million times because it's so much more comfortable for me. It's like, you'd think I'm the guy who would be happy making 500 cold calls. It's not necessarily quite that linear, but it is to the extent like, hey, I found something that's kind of working here. So why would I ever, like, I can make a video on LinkedIn every day because there's no excuse for me not to. John's got 10 hours he's got to put in, you know what I mean? And like, so he's got to make it count. For me, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'll make this video. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I know at least from the data so far that over time, eventually all that is going to work.
Yeah. Guys, I gotta say,
think about it. If I have a bomb, I'm screwed. Like if my video sucks,
you're 2 days a week, man. Like it's like,
I
don't know what kind of
lost out on 12 hours of work.
You're definitely doing something in the beginning of those videos, and I wanted to get it from you. That's an offline conversation, but clearly there's some sort of
dude, there's there's pods and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm super transparent about it. I don't hide that.
Yeah, you have a major pod action happening in the first hour of the videos.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like the way that I run ads. Absolutely. Yeah. I will say that like to be like 100% transparent, 70% of it is completely organic, like without a question. I have a built-in audience that like definitely tunes in because they know around the time I post around the same time. But yeah, like I'd say 70%. 70% is a fair amount.
Yeah. And you know what? Like this is for everyone who bitches and moans about influencers, right? And I don't want to say this because I think it's important. I don't know if there's enough people watching. I don't care. But like, I don't know if all you guys are old enough, but do you remember dig.com from a long time ago?
Yeah, DIGG.
Yep. Okay. So, and for everyone who's watching, you guys know what Reddit is, obviously.
Oh, come on.
So Dig was way bigger than Reddit at one point. It was massive. And the reason I bring this up, it's gonna completely connect to LinkedIn. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's very, very interesting. So Dig was way bigger than Reddit at one point. If Dig never changed its platform, it would be a multi-billion-dollar website today, easily. So Dig's whole game was, if you hit the front page of Dig, you would get an onslaught of traffic with one of your pieces of content. Or, these were usually website links. It wasn't videos or stuff like that. It was mostly so. But here's the kicker about what Dig was. Dig was eventually the first, like pretty much the top 250 users controlled everything on the front page. So if an influencer, right, or in Dig it was called power user, if a power user submitted an article, the chances of that article hitting the front page were way higher. So what did I do in the beginning of my career? I put all my time into becoming a power user, and I figured out the game. And what was the game for Dig? Dig was offline, instant message conversations to upvote articles.
Wow.
Pod,
like the pod before the pod.
Wow.
Pod before pod, right? So for me, it was GChat. I had like 100 contacts. Wow. I would post a link to an article that I wrote or one of my writers wrote, and I would just blast off and try to get to the front page. And then the front page, Dig's front pages were no joke. They were 50,000 to 250,000 uniques. They were known for crushing servers, shutting down websites.
Yeah.
So all LinkedIn is now, all social media is now, all algorithms now are some form of a power user having influence over what gets seen and what doesn't. What the kicker is, and what Dig did wrong, was they succumbed to all of the little, I guess you could call them peons, the users who were sort of shit and brought no value to the platform. But there were so many of them that there was this outcry. You got to change it. It's not fair. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the same thing with Facebook. It's like, you got to change your algorithm in terms of what gets to the feed and da-da-da. Well, LinkedIn is going to face that at some point, if not already. And my sort of rebuttal is like, look, but the influencers are the one putting in hours and hours and hours of their time to help boost this whole thing. So there does have to be a balance, but at the same time, like, everything that John is doing, like, anyone who's out there like listening to this right now and bitches about it is completely wrong, because to set up a system like that takes work, takes commitment. It's really, really hard. And so it's kind of like, if you work your ass off to get to that point, you've sort of earned it. Like when I first had my websites, I got no traffic and it sucked. And other sites were actually ripping off articles that I wrote, and like there was nothing I could do.
Oh no.
And like it stunk. But on the flip side, as I got bigger, I had ideas from other websites. We never plagiarized or anything like that, but like someone would be like, hey, that's like similar to what I wrote. And in my head, I'm like, dude, 100 sites are writing the same shit. Like, but what makes one rise a little bit higher than the other? Hard work and eventually having influence. It's very, I just think it's funny how things came full circle. Sorry, I know it's a long time.
No, that was not. I think it's
I
a good
love
question.
On this platform, you'll eventually get seen. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do
The
it.
end.
I got to jump in because I'm just about to jump to the next stream with Dr. Brian. You guys can wrap up. What we've been doing is I've been jumping ahead, getting the next stream going, and just making sure we continue this thing. So I got to say before I jump, though, you three guys, I love all your content for different reasons. Jason is always dropping value and surprises me with his funny, off-the-wall, sassy Jason stuff. Jonathan makes like my favorite videos, other than Nat's on LinkedIn. Nat, I love your videos, man, because I feel like I'm just pulling up a chair in your backyard. And you're
Yeah.
just talking
Yeah.
shit, sharing.
I need to learn how to jump cut. I don't know how to know what that is.
You know what? Like
Jump-
truth be told, the jump cuts do take something away from the message. If I'm being 100% honest, like it's a method we teach, so it's like, of course, it's something that we have to utilize. But it does, like, I think that when it's moving lightning fast like that, yes, like selfishly, we can fit more words into a smaller period of time, and that's really what it comes down to. And it's like, yeah, we also value people's time. But you do find that like a good portion of the audience, it's very polarizing to do the jump cut. Some people absolutely love it. Some people absolutely hate it. Where if they just see you talking on camera and being authentic, your content, Nat, is going to come off a lot more authentic than mine, because 9 times out of 10, it's a personal story, a personal experience. And that's something that we mentioned, and I'm sure you can resonate with. If you can Google like what you share on videos, like why not? I would just Google it. I want your perspective. That's that's gonna separate you from your competitors.
But there's also something to be said in this little quick blowjob session we're all giving each other. There is something,
oh my gosh, it's so true.
There is something to be said about any method, right? So it's like it's whatever method works and putting everything you got into it. So it's like there's a reason you're doing jump cuts, right? It's an automatic draw. It's an automatic eye, candy. And there's the colors. There's a rhyme and reason to everything that you're doing.
Right. Of course.
There's nothing to be ashamed of about that, because everyone else is trying their ass off for attention their way.
I just think it's our personalities that we're always looking for, like, how can we improve it? How can we refine it? We look at our competitors. What are they doing that's different? Why does it seem to be working well for them? And like, that's how we continue to improve. We're always looking for like, okay, well, why is that a good leveraging point? Why is that a benefit? And I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Well, and it's a branding thing too. Because like if I see a video with a pool in the background, I know whose that is. Like, let's be honest. And not to make fun of it, because I saw some people commenting it in one of the other streams. I forget which one I jumped into now. But like that, it becomes part of your brand. And like, Jonathan, I haven't been following your content all that long, but you have a very distinct video style that is very different than other people using jump cuts and all that stuff too. And so your style ends up being what attracts the people
very
attract as well, because it's a branding thing. And really, even content, like when I help my clients with their content, it really comes down to a branding thing. Like why the whole Sassy Jason thing? It's one, I am sassy. I will call you out on your shit. Like it's why it's like, you know, I'll do posts on, I got a stupid DM today. Let me talk about how dumb salespeople are because they do this. Like, that's me. I'm gonna, if you do that in person, I'm gonna call you out as well. That's me. But there's a branding trick there to say, well, now I'm gonna use it as an ulterior persona or an alter persona, and call it in the third person and stuff, because it's a brand.
Look, man,
and that's what it's done. You know,
Frank Manger, or I don't know how to pronounce
it. Frank Manger.
Yeah.
He's the t-shirt guy, right? And there's no question that, although, you know, I'd like to take a vote. I think I have better shirts, but it's definitely no. But like, do you know how many times I've gotten a comment like because someone liked my Star Wars vintage shirt, and like I just like those shirts, but come on, you think I don't know that I'm wearing a shirt that someone's going to say, I know what that's from.
Yeah, it's your core demo, right? Like they grew up with it. It makes sense.
I'm not even doing it for like LinkedIn. I'm doing it for everybody because it's fun. If I was walking around the street and I have a shirt that says I want my $2, I'm gonna love all the people that know the movie Better Off Dead. And that's almost a way for me to connect with people to say, cool, man, you knew it. You knew that shirt was from that movie.
Right.
And then all the other people are like, yeah, well, fuck off. There's no way to be friends with you because you don't know that line. I hate it. You know what I mean?
Right. You'll know your true fans. Yeah.
So
all right, guys. Yeah, we're going to be jumping into the next one. Final thoughts?
Awesome.
Keep being sassy, Jason.
Yeah. I can't not be. Let's be honest. But no, it was fun, guys.
I hope we all meet in person. That would be, to me, that would be very, very
awesome. Let's do that. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Wish us
the
luck.
next one.
We got a couple more to go.
All right, a couple more Red Bulls. Jason.
Yeah. See ya.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. They've already jumped on to the next one. I think Luke put the link down here. So I'm going to log out and continue following them. Bye.